What's up, guys? We're here with Thursday night NFL football action for Week 15. We're going to take a deep dive on the Falcons versus Buccaneers. I'll give out my favorite bets against the spread and over/under, and we're going to look at a bunch of NFL player props. Also, we're going to cover the entire NBA Thursday slate and cover player props on that as well, and a bunch of NCAA basketball action. So buckle up, we have a fantastic video for you today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and player availability being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, things are not off to the best start. We unfortunately get the push there, or the no action on the Devin Booker under, because he did not end up playing in that game, which was kind of what we thought would happen, but it was going to be such good value if it did happen. We had to at least throw it in there. Alex Caruso looks like he's probably going to let us down. That game's a massive blowout. He scored 3 points very early on, missed a couple of other buckets, and looks like he's not going to get us to those 5 points. So that's pretty irritating. We still got De'Aaron Fox live for the later game. Western Kentucky absolutely crapped the bed in the second half for us. After a good first half, a terrible second half, they lose to Marshall straight up. So that was an annoying one. The Suns plus 14.5. That game's not over for us, but that game is over. We're counting it as a loss. Things just got way out of hand very early there. The Thunder shot the lights out in this game, in addition to getting to play the style of game they wanted. So yeah, not headed anywhere close to the way of the Suns, who are down 50 points at this point. So yeah, looking like a pretty brutal day out there. Kind of glad to have these NBA Cup games in the rear view, although we did catch the Knicks in a big way there the other night. So we'll definitely take that one. But overall, things haven't been going great. Let's see if we can find a bounce back. We've got a Thursday night football game, so let's get after it. We're going to be looking here at the Atlanta Falcons as they go on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Falcons come into this game pretty much eliminated from everything. It has not been a good season. They're coming off a 37-9 blowout loss there against the Seahawks. We were on Seattle in that game, so thank you, Seahawks, for making that one happen. But it has just been absolutely brutal out there for the Falcons this year. They've dealt with a ton of injuries, some very ineffective play, and just overall not having a good time. Kirk Cousins being back under center, it was a big chance for him. Well, he has pretty much blown it here, getting picked off twice there against Seattle, only completing half of his passes, and he's the one that's going to be under center for this game as well. So that's probably a little bit scary if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan or an Atlanta Falcons player. Although at this point, if you're a fan, you want them to be losing games so they can improve their draft situation. Robinson's had a pretty good year on the ground, obviously playing well, 20 carries, 86 yards in that losing effort. Not too many bad things to say about that. No Drake London obviously sucks, but why would he be coming back just to be part of this, the rest of this wasted year? Kyle Pitts actually had a good day, catching 6 out of his 10 targets for 90 yards, but a rough day out there for the Falcons against Seattle. I don't have a lot of positive things to say offensively or defensively. I mean, they got destroyed by Sam Darnold. They couldn't stop the run either. Gave up 3 passing touchdowns. Did come up with that 1 interception, but I mean, generating 1 turnover in a game you eventually lose 37-9, you didn't really do all that much. And over the course of the season, the Falcons defense hasn't really been that good. 20th in the National Football League, giving up 24.1 points per game. I'm not going to get that jazzed up about that, and they do come into this one with plenty of injury concerns. Kyle Pitts is questionable for this game, and I don't know why they would really be rushing him to come back. He's dealing with that knee issue. If I was him, I would be wanting to sit this game out. Drake London, he's going to be out for this game. Obviously, why would he come back with the season being over? On the defensive side of the ball, they got a couple guys questionable. Could be missing 1 guy on the defensive line and 1 linebacker, so this is certainly not a full-strength Atlanta Falcons team here as they head to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers, who are 7-6 on the season. They're coming off a pretty bad loss there. They lose 24-20 against the Saints, and that loss knocks them back to being even. 7-6, tied with the Carolina Panthers there for the top spot in the NFC South. Now, the Panthers and the Buccaneers still play 2 games against each other this season, so the Buccaneers will have a pretty good chance to control their own fate, but it is not time to be messing around if you're the Buccaneers. They're finally starting to get healthy, although how healthy is Baker Mayfield really? That is very up for debate. Last week, he was sacked 0 times there by the Saints, but only completed 14 out of 30 passes for 122 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Baker Magic was in full effect early in the season, but has not been in full effect here down the stretch. It was the running game that kept them in this one against the Saints. Bucky Irving, 15 carries for 55 yards. Rashad White, 11 carries for 53 yards. Obviously not incredible numbers from either one of them, although Baker being willing to run the ball again is a big step in the right direction. He had 42 yards, 6 carries, not a bad day for him on the ground. Chris Godwin Jr. caught 5 out of his 8 targets for 55 yards last week. Cade Otton, who is on the injury report for this one, didn't have a big day. Emeka Abuga, a terrible day, only caught 2 out of his 9 targets. So a lot of guys on the Buccaneers really struggled in that game offensively, and on defense, giving up 24 points to the Saints isn't terrible, but they did not make Tyler Shuck really have to work for it too hard at all. Although they did come up with 1 interception, struggled to stop the run there of Devin Neal, which could be a concern in this game for sure. Didn't generate any turnovers except for that 1 interception. Did have 3 sacks, and over the course of the season, this Buccaneers defense hasn't been super helpful. 23rd in the NFL, giving up 25 points per game. Not exactly a great look. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Their injury report's starting to look better. Mike Evans has been activated off the IR, but is still officially questionable for this game. Cade Otton is doubtful, so it probably won't be the full strength offense. But having Bucky Irving back and staying healthy, having Rachaad White ready to go, and with Baker looking a little bit healthier, a lot of things are pointed in the right direction for this team offensively. Defensively, they're going to be missing at least Dennis there at linebacker. Probably going to be missing Tyke Smith there at free safety as well. So they're not going to be at 100% offensively or defensively, but they're relatively close. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Buccaneers, they are 4.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 44.5. Atlanta, they're 5-7-1 against the spread this year. They're a 500 over/under team. Tampa Bay is only 5-8 against the spread this year. They're 7-6 to the over. Guys, this isn't a slam dunk spot necessarily, but I will be taking the Buccaneers here -4.5. I think they find a way to get the job done in this game. Taking home chalk in division games on Thursday Night Football historically has not been a terrible idea, and the favorites usually in these massive primetime spots tend to do all right. So I will be on the Buccaneers here. It's a huge bounce back spot for Baker and company as well, and the Falcons really don't have anything to play for except for maybe trying to play spoiler. So I do think we'll see Tampa Bay have a pretty good time in this one. I think we'll see Baker have a big bounce back performance, and they'll get the comfortable win and cover. I expect them to win this game by a touchdown to 10 points pretty often. Now, in terms of the total, I'm going to do a slight lean towards the under. Both teams do want to run the ball here, so I think that could result in a slightly lower total, but I'm not really in love with the total for this game. I do have some player props, however, that I think are very solid. And first up, I'll take Bucky Irving over 19.5 receiving yards at -115. He's been over this number in 5 straight games. Even though he only had 2 catches against the Saints, he makes the most of them and even has receiving touchdowns in 2 of his last 3 games. So you can take a look at that prop as well. I also like him to get over 15.5 rushing attempts in this game at -111. He's had at least 15 carries in all of his last 5 games in a game where I think the Buccaneers are going to be kind of, maybe not dominating, but at least leading and wanting to work the clock. I think they're going to be running the ball plenty. And I know he's going to be splitting carries here a little bit, but getting to 16 is not that crazy. I'll also take Chris Godwin Jr. over 40.5 receiving yards here at -115. He's been over this number a couple weeks in a row, and even if Mike Evans does potentially come back, I think they're going to have him on some sort of snap count. They're not going to want to put him, through too much strain here. I really think Godwin will get over this number against a Falcons team that's really, what they have left to play for. I also will take Emeka Abuga over 3.5 receptions here at -132. He's in a huge bounce back spot after catching only 2 of 9 targets last week. And against Atlanta here, I think we see him fully get back on track with Baker, keeping this thing, rolling. Mike Evans probably will still sit this game out if I had to guess. So I think this is a good spot for Emeka Abuga to soak up plenty of targets, and I think he'll actually catch them this week. Last but not least, in terms of player props here, I'll take Baker over 219.5 passing yards at -106. He's been struggling lately, but I fully expect this to be a bounce back situation for him coming off that bad game against the Saints. I think he's finally starting to get healthy, and he can get it down the field. He's got his, a good enough chunk of his wide receiver core ready to go. I think we're going to see him make the most of that. Hey guys, hop in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, if you're a premium member over there at StumpTheSpread.com, you're getting daily NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, and college basketball picks. It's a fantastic time to be in the mix. I know we have a massive, I'm not a big UFC guy, but I know we have a massive UFC slate coming up in the not too distant future. NFL, obviously going to be going nuts out there. College football bowl season is upon us. College basketball season is in full swing. I know a lot of you guys are in those college basketball streets, so it's a fantastic time to get in the action over there at StumpTheSpread.com as a premium member. A crazy amount of work from our entire team of experienced handicappers goes into those picks every single day, so you definitely want to get over there and get in on the mix. It's a great value every single day, and tons and tons of work, tons of information, a crazy amount of data points and analytics goes into every single one of those plays. So you definitely want to make sure you're taking advantage of that. No results so far on the premium side for us here on December 10th, but you can see on the screen, these are the plays that will be on today. Hopefully we're in for a nice big winning day. We'll see how things go. Obviously the Suns, we need them to pick up the pace a little bit. I think they're fully capable of that. Also, the Thunder have been kind of the kings of giving up backdoor covers. So we'll see if that comes through today. But definitely get over there and check out all the stuff we're offering on the premium side. But if you still want to get in the mix a little bit, but you don't want to be spending money on picks right now, no big deal, guys. We've got tons of great free information over there. We've got free picks posted under the free picks tab every single day. We've got our free to use bet size calculator over there. Definitely a great way to work on your bankroll management. And maybe most importantly, that's where you can get on our free email newsletter. It's a fantastic resource. Every single day you can get one email straight to your inbox, and it's going to have at least one free pick and oftentimes 2 or 3 free picks. Information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, tennis, UFC often has big write-ups in there. Parlays on any of the major sports and some of the niche sports. Great information in those emails every single day, and especially on the weekends, guys. Tons of college football write-ups in there. Lots and lots of great information on the NFL side as well. Tons of NFL touchdown props, player props, and just regular old bets straight up or against the spread. Those can all end up in that email. And it's very easy to sign up. You just go to stumpthespread.com either by clicking the link down in the description or by typing stumpthespread.com into your browser of choice. It'll bring you to the home screen. There'll be a green button at the top right-hand corner. You click that button. It'll prompt you to set up a free account. All they're going to ask you for is your name and your email address. That's it. You'll get one email straight to your inbox every single day, loaded with great sports betting information. So definitely make sure you're getting in on that. And also get over there to stumpthespread.com and check out the premium action. Lots of great stuff coming up this weekend and every single day. Every single day, there's good value picks in there. Also, guys, over at stumpthespread.com, if you're looking to buy one of our Stump the Spread hoodies, you don't have to rely on winning it through a giveaway anymore. You can just straight up purchase one. You just go to the shop tab. Right now, we're offering the hoodies at a discount and with free shipping. It's a great time to get one of those hoodies for Christmas, and you definitely still have time if you're looking to get it by Christmas. You will certainly be able to have it there. If you want to rep that at Christmas dinner or wherever you want to go, you should be able to get one of those Stump the Spread hoodies. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, get access to our members only giveaways. We're going to give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here on Monday, every single Monday from here on out until you hear different. We're going to be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random YouTube channel member. We take the name of every single YouTube channel member, put it in a big wheel, and spin it live on the video there on Monday. Whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie mailed straight to their address of choice. That's a $50 value. That's a $50 giveaway effectively every single week. So definitely want to make sure you're getting in on that. And also, I just appreciate all my super fans who are, YouTube channel members. I really appreciate all of you guys. But let's go ahead and dive back in. Now, guys, hopping over to look at this NBA slate, we're going to be taking a look at the Los Angeles Clippers going on the road to take on the Houston Rockets. The Clippers have been pretty convincingly maybe the worst or the biggest letdown team in the NBA so far. Came in the year with very high expectations. They're currently 6-18 on the season. They've lost their last 2 in a row, losing to the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies, albeit in pretty competitive games. But this Clipper team was supposed to be winning a lot. They're supposed to be winning a lot. They were supposed to be the better team out of the Clippers and the Lakers. If you'd asked most people in the preseason which team was going to be better, most people would have said the Clippers. Well, that is not working out so far. In that 106-109 loss there against the Timberwolves, Kawhi continued to play pretty well. 20 points, 8 of 17 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. John Collins, not a bad day either. He's turned it on recently here, leading up to the Cup break. He was playing pretty well. Zubac, 15 points, 13 boards. That's not a bad day by any standard. James Harden, 34 points, 13 of 15 from the free throw line. He played great. But other than those guys, there is just no production on this roster. It doesn't appear. Just like nothing. The bench looks so bad. Bogdanovich coming back and being healthy maybe will help, but you got Brook Lopez playing 10 minutes. You got Batum playing 17 minutes. Both of those dudes seem absolutely cooked. Like their careers are probably pretty much over. So it's not looking too hot for them. We'll see if the Clippers can make any sort of move here and somehow boost this bench unit, but the benches looked terrible, like really, really bad. So it's been a huge problem. It could be a problem for them in this game as well. They do come into this one very healthy, obviously missing Derrick Jones Jr. and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal for the season. Derrick Jones Jr. will apparently come back at some point, but it's going to be a while. A sprained MCL is pretty bad. So we'll see what they can do with their current group. Going on the road to take on the Rockets, who at 15-6 on the year have been cruising. They are fresh off a 122-109 head scratcher of a loss there against the Dallas Mavericks. Maybe they're just ready to get into, their break here, but really more what happened was Dallas, just kind of took it to them. It was wild. The Mavericks shot 60% from the field in that game. The Rockets had no answer for Anthony Davis. Nobody's able to slow him down, so we'll see what they can do in this one. They were not fully healthy for that game either. No Sengun for that one. That's a pretty big piece for them to be missing. KD went off for 27 points. Jabari Smith Jr. played well, had 22 points of his own, but this was far from the full-strength Rockets. We didn't hate what we saw from Reed Shepherd, a bit of a bounce-back night for him there. 12 points, not so bad. Aaron Holiday played great, 19 points for him off the bench. If you're going to get that kind of shooting and that kind of production for him, that's going to be a great thing for the Rockets as you're headed down the stretch. But really what's more important for this team is that they find a way to get healthy and stay healthy. And they're very healthy right now. Obviously no Fred VanVleet, but that was going to be the case all season long. That was pretty unfortunate. But Amen Thompson, Okogie, Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Sengun, Steven Adams, all healthy and ready to go. You also got Aaron Holiday and Reed Shepherd ready to kill there off the bench. So right now everything's lining up pretty well for the Houston Rockets. And that's part of the reason they're 9.5-point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 220.5 here at the Clippers. They are 6-8 against the spread on the road, 6-11 against the spread coming off of a loss, so that is a bit of a concern. Houston, they are 5-4 against the spread at home. They are 4-1 against the spread this season coming off a loss, and they're fully healthy coming into this game. It's a lot of points, especially to go against a team that has Kawhi Leonard on it, but I will be taking the Rockets here, -9.5 at home. I think they find a way to win this game pretty convincingly, especially coming off of a loss. They're going to be nice, rested, ready to go. That does go for the Clippers here as well, so there is reason to be concerned about this play, but I definitely think the Rockets are the side here that you want. In terms of a couple player props for this game, first up, I'll take Jabari Smith Jr. over 13.5 points in this game at -115. He's been over this number in 4 of his last 5 games. I fully expect him to have a good time here against the Clippers team that's not great. Could get blown out in this game if the Rockets are really locked in, and that could end up meaning just a few extra minutes there from Jabari Smith Jr. I assume he's going to continue to shoot the ball well like he has been recently, so I think it's a good Jabari Smith Jr. spot. On the Clippers side, I like Kawhi here over 22.5 points. Win or lose, I think, this is a good play. Even though taking somebody's scoring over against the Rockets can feel a little bit crazy, I do think we'll see a nice night from Kawhi. He's been playing really well lately, coming off a very good night there the other day. He's had extended rest coming into this game. The Clippers, if they're going to ever turn things around, maybe this could be the start of it, coming off a little bit of an extended break there for the NBA Cup quarterfinals. So I don't think it's crazy to back Kawhi here to have a decent shooting night. Next on the docket, we're going to look at the Boston Celtics going on the road here to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Celtics are 15-9 on the season. I don't want to say this team came out of nowhere. There was a decent amount of optimism surrounding them coming into this year that, maybe they'd find a way to keep their heads above water, but with all the increasing news about Tatum potentially coming back this year, and with the Celtics being 15-9 on the season, a lot more is being said about this team with the potential to be a contender once again this year if Tatum really does end up coming back, theoretically sometime around the All-Star break, which feels insane given the injury that he suffered. But they've been playing great going into the little cup break. They had won 7 of their last 8 games. They're coming off a 121-113 win there over the Toronto Raptors. Kind of a business as usual for the Celtics. A big scoring night there from Jaylen Brown. Derek White was right there with them. They shot 43% from 3 on only 47 attempts. They're not taking a crazy amount of threes like we thought they might coming into this season. We like to see off the bench from Anthony Simons. He's been a very reliable scoring punch coming off the bench there. Peyton Pritchard has played well. Jordan Walsh deserves all kinds of credit. He's been giving them crazy minutes. We just liked pretty much everything we've seen from this roster this year, which is a bit bonkers. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Obviously, the injury report's pretty important, but they're fully healthy and ready to go for this game. So it's a big deal as they head to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks, who've lost 3 out of their last 4. They're 10-15 on the season. All the news about the Bucks right now is that Giannis is looking for a way out. He wants to be traded. There's really no news as of yet on who he's angling to be traded to, but things are not looking great right now for the Bucks. They do have Kevin Porter Jr. back. That's been nice. He's, doing all the things they would have wanted him to do, but they want him to do those things alongside Giannis and not independent of Giannis. I mean, he put up a 32-piece there in their 112-124 loss to the Pistons. Kuzma was actually okay out there, 5 of 12 in 29 minutes from him. Miles Turner, I don't know why they were so just stoked to go out and get this guy. I don't know if Giannis thought this was going to somehow be the answer to all the Bucks' problems, just having a center that could shoot. Like, you've had Brook Lopez already. Like, I know Miles Turner's an upgrade from Brook Lopez, but I don't know. It's not looking great. He had 12 points in 25 minutes in that 12-point loss. The bench looks terrible, except for if Gary Trent Jr. has a good shooting night or Bobby Portis happens to be actually, playing well. But it's been a rough scene here for the Milwaukee Bucks this season. And it's not necessarily going to get any better anytime soon. Seems like if they're going to trade away Giannis, this might be time to just blow things up. They're obviously not going to have Giannis for this game or for quite some time. They are relatively healthy coming into this one, except for AJ Green, who's officially questionable with that shoulder issue. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Bucks are getting 9.5 or 8.5 points. Both numbers still showing out there. We've got a total of 226.5 in this game. Boston's 7-5 against the spread on the road. They're 8-6 against the spread after a win. Milwaukee's 7-7 against the spread at home. They're also 7-7 against the spread after a loss. If you can still find 8.5 out there, guys, I think this is a very good spot to back the Boston Celtics. I think they're going to win this game pretty convincingly. I don't think the Bucks really have what it takes to make this one a close one. I also think you could look at over 226.5 in this game. I think we'll see a decent amount of offense. There's still a lot of shooters out there for the Bucks, and we know the Celtics, they can definitely fill it up as well. So I don't think over is too wild of a play in this game either. Portland comes into this game only 9-15 on the season, not exactly having the year they imagined. Although when your head coach gets arrested, you've had a few distractions, not going to lie. Denny Adjeva has been having a great season. That definitely deserves to be mentioned. They are fresh off a 119-96 loss there at the Memphis Grizzlies, though. So not a great showing in that one. Jeremy Grant, 21 pretty inefficient points, although he did get to the free throw line 10 times. That was nice. Denny Adjeva didn't get to the free throw line his normal amount of times, only had 17 points, but was 7 of 14 from the field. So not a terrible day out there from him. 12 points off the bench for Duop Reith. Shadion Sharp continues to play well off the bench as well. He had 17 points and was 3 of 3 from long range, but all that does come in a loss. So let's, keep in mind it did all happen in a loss. So we'll see if they can play a little bit better in this one at least. I mean, it's been obviously a bit of a tough season overall, and they've dealt with some injuries for sure. Missing guys like Drew Holiday, that's not going to be easy to just ignore. Donovan Clingan is on the injury report here as well. He won't play in this game dealing with that leg issue. Robert Williams, he's on the injury report as well. He's listed as questionable with an illness, so they could be a little bit thin there at center. We'll see. It might be a Young Henson kind of night. We'll see what that ends up meaning for this team in general. But they're going on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 3-22 on the season. Not exactly killing it. They're on a, what is it up to now? 7-game losing streak. They lost 135-132 against the Spurs their last time out. So played a very competitive game there. And they've got some reasons to feel good. I mean, Herb Jones was back, played relatively well. Trey Murphy continues to pretty much kill out there, to be honest. Like him and Derek Queen, probably the two brightest lights for this team in a very bad season. We've also liked what we've seen in general from Sadiq Bey this year, so there's some bright spots. It's just not coming in terms of winning games. This squad is not doing that, and really, is there any help incoming? I mean, we'll see, but I'm not super sold. Now, Zion and Jordan Poole, the guys that were supposed to help carry this team out of the doldrums this year, well, Zion's going to be out for at least 2 more weeks, and Jordan Poole with that quadriceps injury is technically questionable for this game. He could come back, but it doesn't seem like there's any sort of urgency to get him back out there. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Pelicans are getting 5.5 or 4.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 238.5 in this game. Portland's 7-8 against the spread on the road. They're 9-5 against the spread after a loss, though. That's kind of interesting. New Orleans 5-8-1 against the spread at home. They're 12-8-1 against the spread after a loss. So this is a bit of an interesting spot. I actually think with Herb Jones back and the Pelicans playing at home here, I'm going to be leaning a bit towards New Orleans getting those 5.5 points. I don't know if this is really, necessarily a lock to make the pin comment, but it's certainly going on the list as a potential dog of the day. I do think playing at home here, New Orleans has what it takes to put up a fight against a Portland team that's going to be lacking a little bit of size in this game for sure, and just hasn't been playing that great and hasn't been an amazing road team either. In terms of some player props for this game, I've got a couple that I think are very, very solid value. First up, I'll take Sadiq Bey here over 16.5 points at -105. He's been over this number in each of his last 5 games and in 9 of his last 10 overall. I don't see the Blazers really going into New Orleans and having some kind of insane defensive night. I think we see Bey continue to put up good numbers as he soaks up all those minutes left available by Zion, never being able to play basketball. I also like Trey Murphy here over 3.5 assists at -130. To me, he's one of the 2 or 3 good things going on for the Pelicans this season. I expect him to keep right on scoring and playmaking in this game. He's been showing major growth in being a creator for his teammates this year, and I fully expect to see that continue here against the Portland Trail Blazers. In our last NBA game, before we hop over and look at that college basketball slate, we're looking at the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Sacramento Kings. The Nuggets are having a pretty good time this year, flying a bit under the radar. They are 17-6 overall. They've won 3 in a row, albeit against some pretty weak Eastern Conference opponents, but knocking off the Hornets, the Hawks, and the Pacers, took care of business, although they did play a weirdly close game there against the Hawks. But in that 10 or 9-point win there against the Hornets, they were on the road in that one. Jamal Murray played great, 34 points from him, 28 from Jokic, very efficient stuff. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jonas Valanciunas both played well off the bench. We did not like what we saw from Cameron Johnson, though. Another down shooting night from him. He's doing a lot of playing good defense, but not a lot of knocking down shots. So we'll see if he can improve that a little bit. But overall, the Nuggets, they've been doing what we expected them to do this season. So I'm not too concerned. They come to this game very healthy, very much ready to go. Murray, Jokic, everybody rested and ready to get after it. So we'll see what they can do in Sacramento. The Kings, they've been a disaster this year. There's really no way to sugarcoat that. They've been horrible. Time to blow things up, I would sure think. They're 6-18 on the season. They're coming off a 116-105 loss there at Indiana against the Trailblazers. I don't really know what great things we're supposed to say. Russell Westbrook played 40 minutes, had 24 pretty efficient points, 12 boards, 14 assists, so a triple-double, and his team lost by 11. Zach LaVine, 16 points in 38 minutes. DeRozan, 20 points in 36 minutes. The bench, 11 points off the pine for Precious Achiuwa. He's playing pretty well, but overall, not a lot of great production from the bench. A terrible night from Malik Monk. As a team, they shot 32% from 3. They did, a great job on the boards, out-rebounding the Pacers by 10, and they still find a way to lose this game by 11. This team just does not work together. I don't know why they didn't make any moves in the offseason, why they wanted to run it back here. I have no idea, but it just does not appear to be working. So we'll see what goes on in this one. Right now, it appears that Zach LaVine will be sidelined for this game, due to right thumb soreness. That's a little bit weird. We'll see if maybe there's a trade cooking. That would explain it a little bit. And Schroeder is not ready to be back for them. He's listed as doubtful for this game. So it's the relatively healthy Kings. They're getting 9 points at home in this one. We've got a total of 240.5. Denver's 8-5 against spread on the road. They're 9-7 against spread after a win. The Kings are 2-8 against spread at home. They are 6-11 against spread after a loss. Guys, we really don't have any option here. We have to take the Denver Nuggets -9. I think they win this game by double digits the vast majority of the time here, especially against a Kings team that's pretty sad. Doesn't really have any significant talent there at center to even try and slow down Jokic. I also don't think Russell Westbrook's going to be getting the better of that Jamal Murray matchup. So I think all this just combines to be a very bad time out there for the Sacramento Kings. I think they lose this game in a blowout. Now, guys, hopping over to look at a kind of slim NCAA basketball slate here for Thursday. Not a ton of great games. We're going to break down the good ones. First up, we're looking at the Appalachian State Mountaineers as they go on the road to take on the East Carolina Pirates. Now, Appalachian State, they're 5-5 on the season. They're coming off a non-Division II win, but had lost 3 in a row before that, falling to UNC Asheville, Mercer, and Elon. So not exactly killing it. Their only Division I wins this year against NC Central, Dartmouth, and Charlotte. They played I guess they got beat up about 22 points there against Ohio State. They got blown out in their season opener against Central Michigan. It's not been a good year. Kaysen Jennings putting up 14.5 points a game is not terrible, but they're in the 260s in the nation in points per game. They're in the 250s in assists per game. It's just not looking great. In that loss against UNC Asheville, they only scored 55 points. This team is pretty offensively challenged, and that's not an issue that's been getting much better recently. There's just not a lot of positives to find about this team. They only had 2 double-digit scores in the entire game there against UNC Asheville, and they shot 24% from 3, only made less than half their free throws, and got destroyed on the boards. This team very clearly not really ready to run with the big dogs, or at least that's not what it feels like to me. They're going on the road in this one. We'll see what they can do. They're taking on the East Carolina Pirates, who also haven't had a fantastic season. They're 3-6 overall. Their 3 wins this year came against Georgia Southern, Elizabeth City, and against MD Eastern. Their last time out, they lost a 4-point game against UNC Greensboro. A game they definitely had their chances. Don't get me wrong, they should have been able to make that one a little bit closer. Their main step-up game this year was against Michigan State, and they got obliterated in that one. In their that loss against the UNC Greensboro Spartans, we didn't love what we saw from the Pirates necessarily. They are willing to take threes, but only went 6 of 24 from deep. They shot 48% from the field. Had a nice edge, a 10-rebound edge. They out-rebounded UNC Greensboro, 38-28, and still couldn't find a way to get the win. Jordan Riley put up 25 points in the loss, but it did take him 21 shots to make that happen. So we'll see what they can do in this one. The Pirates are at home here, so that helps at least a little bit. They're 5.5-point favorites. We got a total of 135.5. Appalachian State, they're 4-4 against the spread this year. They're 6-2 to the under. ECU, they are 1-7 against the spread this season. They're 4-4 to the over/under. In terms of a side in this game, guys, I am going to take East Carolina here at home. -5.5 feels a little bit rich, but Appalachian State has not been great. They haven't been anything special on the road. ECU does have a decent home court advantage here, so I do think we'll see them find a way to get the win and cover in this one. And in terms of that total of 135.5, that looks like a pretty small number, but I would not be shocked to see these teams find their way under that total. Next up, guys, we'll look at the Western Carolina Catamounts going on the road to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies. Now, the Catamounts, guys, they're 4-5 on the season. They've played several step-up games, or at least two major ones. They faced Cincinnati to open the year and lost by 31. Then they faced Duke and lost by 41. So none of those really going their way. They did take down Stetson and UNC Asheville. They lost to Lipscomb, High Point, and SC Upstate. So their last game there against SC Upstate, losing that one 78-67. Not a great look. Their season-long numbers aren't that amazing either. They are 54th in the nation in total rebounding, so I guess that's something to feel good about, but it's been a little bit tough. Definitely haven't looked great in their step-up games. In that loss there against the Upstate Spartans, I mean, we saw, 3 double-digit scores coming off the bench. That looks great. As a team, they only shot 4 of 17 from 3, though. That's not great for sure. The rebounding battle did not go their way. They only turned the ball over 10 times. That's a good look. That could be important in trying to cover a big number like this, but we'll see what they can do. This is a big step-up spot. They're taking on the Virginia Tech Hokies, who are 8-2 on the season. They're kind of revving things up for a big year in the ACC. We'll see what they can do. Their 2 losses this year were against St. Mary's and against VCU. Now, that St. Mary's game was relatively competitive. The VCU one was not quite as competitive, but overall they haven't looked terrible. They've won their last 2 in a row, taking down South Carolina and beating George Mason. So doing something positive there for sure. They also beat Providence earlier in the year, blew out Charleston Southern. So they've done some good things this season. And in their win over a very good-looking George Mason Patriots team, they won that game by 11, so that's not a bad look. They shot the ball pretty well, 9 of 25 from 3. I'm not going to be upset about that. The rebounding was a concern, though. They got out-rebounded 36-27. They only turned the ball over 9 times. That's great. We saw, 2 double-digit scores off the bench. Jaden Shutt, 18 points in 25 minutes for him. 6 of 12 from long range. That'll do it. But a very good day there for the Virginia Tech Hokies. We'll see what they can do in this one. Their season-long numbers look respectable. Nothing too impressive, though. So look at the numbers. They are 20.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 151.5 in this game. Let's see. WCU, they're 1-6 against the spread. They're 4-3 to the under. Virginia Tech, they're 5-5 against the spread, and they're 5-5 to the over/under. If this was some big look-ahead spot here for the Hokies, I would maybe be thinking about fading them and praying that the Western Carolina rebounding advantage could somehow materialize, but there is no look-ahead spot here for the Hokies, and Western Carolina does have Georgia on deck, so it's more of a look-ahead spot for them than anyone, so I will be backing Virginia Tech here to get the win and cover. Obviously, they got to win this one in a blowout, but I do think they have what it takes. They've blown out some teams this year, no doubt about that, and I do think they could find their way to a blowout here against one of the lower-tier opponents they'll have faced in the entire season. Next on the docket, guys, and in by far the biggest, best, most exciting game we're looking at for the entire day here on the NCAA basketball side, we've got the Iowa Hawkeyes going on the road here, to take on their in-state rival number 4 Iowa State Cyclones. Now, the Hawkeyes are 8-1 on the season. They've played really well. Their only loss this year was against number 7 Michigan State, and they lost that one pretty handily, losing 71-52, but bounced right back at an 83-64 win there over Maryland. So they played well. They beat Ole Miss this year. They beat Xavier in a blowout. This team has been putting up some pretty good numbers overall. Like, the rebounding doesn't look amazing, but their defense has been excellent. And in that game against Maryland, not like Maryland's a juggernaut this year, but we did like what we saw. The rebounding was okay in that game, but the shooting numbers were fantastic. They shot 41% from 3, 54% from the field in general. They got homered, or not, the opposite of homered. They only shot 12 free throws at home. We saw Maryland shoot 38, and they still won this game by 19 points. That is very elite stuff. We're liking what we're seeing from a lot of guys on this roster, honestly. It's looking like a fairly deep team. And while I'm not that enthused about their season-long numbers, there's a lot to feel good about here as they go on the road to take on Iowa State. Now, the Cyclones, they are number 4 in the nation. They're 9-0, undefeated. They haven't been insanely severely tested until very recently, but when they have been tested, they have been up to the challenge. They took down then number 14 St. John's in a 1-point thriller. They beat Creighton pretty convincingly, beating them by 18, blew out Syracuse, and in their last game, they got an 81-58
insane-o win over the number 1 Purdue Boilermakers. That was a crazy game, crazy stuff. The Cyclones shot the lights out that one, made 11 out of 23 from deep. That's 48%. They only shot 6 free throws in the game. It did not matter. They kept things even on the boards. They took care of the ball pretty well. We liked really everything we saw. They played great across the board. The bench played great. The starters played great. They knocked off one of the best teams in the nation, and they made it look very doable. And their season-long numbers are kind of what you would expect. They're excellent. They're 8th in the nation in overall scoring, 21st in assists. This team really puts up some good numbers. All that being said, though, they're in a massive letdown spot after, for sure, their biggest win of the season. So they're 11.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 143.5. Iowa, they're 7-2 against the spread this year. They're 5-4 to the over. Iowa State, they're 7-1-1 against the spread this year. They are 6-3 to the over. So something that actually definitely jumps out to me about this game is I do like over 143.5. I think we'll see plenty of offense, plenty of shot making in this game. So definitely put that on the list as a potential play. But better than that, I'll take Iowa getting 11.5 points in a huge rivalry game, in an in-state rivalry game, in a big letdown spot for the Cyclones. I think we see Iowa keep this game very, very competitive in this spot. Rounding the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Alabama State Hornets. They're going on the road to take on the Missouri Tigers. Alabama State's 3-6 on the season, so not exactly lighting the world on fire. They've lost 5 out of their last 6 games. The only win came against IU Indy. They lost to SIUE, New Mexico by 6, and to UT Martin by 10. It's been a rough season for the Hornets overall, and I mean, I guess, Anderson's doing a good job leading the team in both scoring and assist. 18 points and 4.5 assists per game is not bad, but the rebounding numbers aren't great. Their defense has been horrible. They have not been very good in step-up spots this year either. In their loss against the UT Martin Skyhawks, they shot almost 50% from the three-point line. Didn't shoot the ball well from the field, though, and got just crushed on the boards. Not doing a lot that would make me think they're capable of, holding up against a step-up opponent in the Missouri Tigers. Now, Mizzou, they're 8-2 on the season. They're coming off back-to-back losses, but losing at Notre Dame and then against number 21 Kansas. Those kind of make sense. I don't really think Missouri's, on the same level as teams like Kansas this season. They don't have any big step-up wins. They have taken advantage of some pretty bad opponents at times. They blew out Minnesota earlier this year, blowout win there over South Dakota, took down SC State in a blowout, blew out Cleveland State. So they've shown the ability to light up the scoreboard. Mark Mitchell, 18.5 points per game, shooting nearly 60% from the field. Very good there. They're in the top 50 nationally in total offense. They're 82nd in rebounding. They're not a great defensive team, but they're decent. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Obviously, that game against Kansas did not go their way. Even though they kept it pretty competitive there in the first half, they weren't really able to hold on down the stretch. Didn't shoot the ball all that well from 3. And you're going to need to knock down some shots if you're going to want to score a big upset like that. But looking at the numbers for this one, Mizzou, they are 22.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 157.5. Alabama State, they're 4-4 against the spread and 5-3 to the under. Mizzou's 4-6 against the spread, and they are 6-4 to the under. I'm not too interested in the total in this game. The trends would tell you to lean towards under, so I don't have a problem with that, but I will be taking Missouri to cover this big number. Playing at home, I think it's a pretty reasonable spot. They've got Bethune-Cookman coming up next, so it's not really a look-ahead spot. Alabama State has Cincinnati coming up next, and then Memphis, so if it's a look-ahead spot for anybody, I would say it's for Alabama State. So give me Mizzou here, but probably not a play that's going to make the pinned comment. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the St. Joseph's Hawks going on the road to take on the Syracuse Orange. Now, St. Joseph's, they're 6-3 on the year. They've won their last 4 in a row if you count their non-Division I win, but they beat Princeton, Temple, and Coppin State, and that game at Princeton was really close, and it was a 1-point game against Temple. They did take care of business pretty handily there against Coppin State, but this team, they got blown out by Virginia Tech. They didn't do a great job there against UNLV, so haven't done amazing in their step-up games. Deuce Jones putting up 15.5 points per game looks good, but they're in the 200s offensively this year, so not a great team in terms of filling it up. And while they're coming off that good offensive game, it was against a 2-11 opponent that's been terrible this year. They shot the ball really well from 3, shot the free throws really, really well, dominated the boards, did all the things you're supposed to do against a bad opponent, but are the Syracuse Orange a bad opponent for St. Joseph's? Kind of feels like no to me. The Orange are 5-3 in the season. They're fresh off a massive blowout. They took down number 13 Tennessee 62-60. That was a wild one. Props to them. They kept their game against Houston extremely close as well. Their losses here were against number 3 Houston, Kansas, Iowa, and Iowa State. those are pretty solid teams to be losing to, if you ask me. So very, very good work this year from Syracuse. They don't have a look-ahead spot on deck or anything like that. St. Joseph's, after this game, they're going to face Delaware State. So no look-aheads here. Looking at the numbers, the Orange are 12.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 145.5 in this game. St. Joseph's, they're only 2-6 against the spread. They're 4-4 to the over/under. Syracuse, they're 5-3 against the spread. They are 5-3 to the under as well. I don't have a big lean on the total in this game, but I'll definitely be leaning towards Syracuse here, especially playing at home. Like, it's no look-ahead spot for them, really, so they should be rested and ready to go. Oh, wait, they are not at home. Okay, that makes us lose a little bit of its eye. They're actually playing this one at the Thomas and Mack Center in Vegas, so not a real home game here for the Orange, but I still think they find a way to win this game very, very comfortably. Guys, that's all the games we have for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Do me that favor and help me get these videos promoted out there. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I actually do respond to all of your comments. Let me know, what you're thinking out there. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description and get over there to stumpthespread.com. Buy a hoodie if you're interested in buying a hoodie for Christmas. Check out all the free picks over there. Get on that free email newsletter for sure. That is a fantastic resource. You definitely want to check that out. And we'll see you all right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.